my name's Jonny, and today we are taking a look at the Sonicake Matribox 2 Pro. Now, you might be in the market for some kind of multi-effects processor like the Line 6 HX Stomp. I love these things. I use the Line 6 HX Stomp on every single video. And Sonicake got in touch with me and said, hey, do you want to check out this? And I was like, yes, I do. This is essentially an even more affordable and even more expansive version of something like a Helix, where you're getting multitudes of amps and effects and pedals all in one little compact box. I say little, it's not super small, but the price is super small. These cost about £300. So today's video, I thought I would take you through the process of building a tone on the Sonicake Matribox 2 Pro, just to see how easy it is and what kind of things we can create along the way and what are some of the features. So the majority of this video, I'm going to share my screen and show you the software that comes with this product for you to use on your desktop. That's the easiest way to demonstrate the signal chain and all of that. We will dive into the unit itself, which is just down here a little bit when it comes to it with some of the pedal settings. But for the majority, we're going to be having a look on the computer. Now, like I said, they did send me this, so this does technically class as an ad. So I have to say that up top that they have provided me with this unit. They're sponsoring this video, but it's not going to impact what I have to say about this unit or anything like that, because I always just want to be totally honest with you guys. So that's what I'm going to do. For this demo, I am going to be using my brand new 70s Squier Antigua classic vibe. Nothing fancy. This cost about £400. This bass cost between £350 and £400. So we're less than like 700 quid for all of this gear. So let's see what sounds we can create. First of all, this is just the straight DI, nothing from the Sonicake at all. With these types of things, I always like to start with an amp so we can get our clean sound going. For this, it's quite handy. We can filter on the left-hand side here our types of amp. If you're using guitar, you can get high gain, drive, etc. But we just want the bass amps here. And we get 5 bass amps to play with, not loads. And there are some weird ones in here, some strange choices, but it's enough for us to get going with for now. Where's my strap on? Must put my strap on. Always keep your strap on. One thing I've noticed about this software is that it's a little temperamental. So I've just selected, yes, bass, and then let's go for this one. And then it automatically undoes what I just selected. So it's a bit annoying like that, but let's see how we get. So this is just the Ampeg SVT. Of course, they're going to have an SVT in there. Got an Aux AC 100. A Mesa Boogie 400. Interesting. Ampeg B15. Pretty nice. An Alembic F28. Quite nice and scoopy but punchy. And that's it. That's all we got. So my favorite off the bat was that Alembic add in a cab as well. So we can default this to the types of cabs. Now this gets a bit frustrating because, you know, we can get 2x12 guitar cabs, you can get 2x12 bass cabs. So it's a bit annoying that it's not split up into the two, but let's see what we get. This is apparently a Fender Bassman. It says a 2x10 on here, which I assume was a bass cab, but then it says a 2x12, so I don't know if this is a bass or guitar cab. Sounds pretty good though. 4x10. No, that's got to be a guitar cab, surely. Okay, it looks like they've actually got most of their bass cabs at the end again. We've got an SWR 1x15. I don't know why there's an SWR cab, but no head. Bit weird. Wow, that's kind of surprised me. Normally, an Ampeg 8x10 is like my go-to in terms of cab synths. They're done so much, well practiced, you know, you get a lot of them. But this one I think is the worst sounding one. I'm going to go with this 4x10. I think this is the best sounding one. On our amp, I think we need, let's turn the bright on. Okay, I'm going to set the amp how I'd like it to be, a bit boost in volume, and actually some boost in mids for this one. It's a bit scoopy this, but it's still giving me that like tubey-ish sound. There is the option to add in your own custom IRs here, but I don't have any, so I'm not going to be doing that. Next step is to add in some compression, I think, and I actually quite like the compressors that are in here. In our dynamics, we've got the choice of multiple boosts, compressors, and noise gates all in one place. Not gonna lie, I was kind of expecting it to be a bit artificial sounding, but just doing some quick tweaking with this compressor, and I think it sounds pretty good. Without it, it sounds like this. And with it, it's definitely doing what I want it to. It's giving me that extra punch and a little bit extra life whilst keeping things nice and consistent. So I'm going to keep it there as where it is. Before we do this, I am going to add in a frequency. That's not what I meant. EQ, that's what I want. Now, one thing I don't like about this is that there's no undo button. I can save as I go along, which I will do now. Yes. But I can't undo. If I make a mistake, I just have to remember it or go back to it, which is a bit frustrating. We've got some bass-centered EQs here. So let's do the second one and give ourselves a bit of a 4K scoop. I've added some EQ in here, and this is just to kind of tweak as we go. It's not super necessary, but I'm kind of digging the way that it sounds. It's just adding a little bit more life into it. It's going to give us a bit more presence and a bit more of a bite to the sound. Speaking of bite, let's add in some drive now. Now, I'm going to place this drive after my EQ and after my compressor, but before the amp. My goal here is to have a low gain drive sound and then a high gain drive sound. So I've got multiple to set here. I mean, you just put it on and immediately. Sounds pretty good off the bat. Like, what drive? This is just a tube screamer. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket because I actually really like that. Okay, so I can start to see what some of these are based on. A plexi distortion. Dark mouse, I guess this is like a rat. So, yeah, some of these drives are going to suck the low end out big time. I mean, a rat is well known for doing that. But there's no ability for us to split the signal, a bit like what you do on an HX Stomp, or to have it so that we can retain that low end. We could add in like an EQ block that boosts the bass massively, but I don't really want to do that if we can get away with it. So we're just going to use the standard distortions here. We've got a bass overdrive and a bass distortion, so let's see what they sound like. Kind of sounds like we're getting like a bit of DI. Interesting if you turn the blend all the way off. I don't know why it's doing that. I just want it to be like some drive with that knob. I guess that's maybe why it's a bass one, because they think you want that, but not for me. So here it sounds on the edge setting. And a scoop. It just makes it sound like it's clipping when it's not. I don't love that, but let's turn the gain down, the blend up, and see what we get. Okay, that sounds better. No. That sounds pretty good. I'm just going to add in another drive block, but this time to check out this distortion whilst we... why would it do that? So I dragged that new one on, and it didn't default to that. It kept me on that, so it kept me on this pedal, so I just changed it and lost everything I just did. Right, okay. That's right, we're select on it now. Distortion, oh dear. Down like that. Bang down, blend up. What I don't like is it's doing like a tilt. The blender's doing a tilt. It's not blending in the wet signal. It is going, do you want all of the dirty signal or all of the clean signal or in between? And that's not how I like to do it. Just don't think that bass distortion sounds good. So you are out of here, bass distortion. Bye-bye. We've got our slightly driven, like kind of more vintage drive sound. And then a more aggressive one. Now let's have a bit of fun. We're going to add in some modulation. I classically like a bit of chorus. Within here, though, we have the choice of chorus, flanger, jet. What's that? another flange. Vibrato, roto, phaser, vibe, tremolo, and a detune and a lo-fi thing. So let's see what these do. There's loads of stuff in here that could be hours and hours of fun of diving into, but I'm going to move on before I get too distracted. Now, one thing that the bass players might want out of this is an octave pedal. So let's try and find that in here. I've not seen it yet. So the octaver is actually in the frequency patch. We've got an octaver. Very much like a POG. We've got the Dry 150. Let's take that high octave out. No. Don't like that one bit. I mean, let's see what that sounds like with some drive. Awful. Yeah. The octaver on this is just not nice. You know what? The tracking on it is actually quite good. It's not bad. It's not like bumming out at the... is that the right term? Definitely not. It's right bottoming out and becoming flubby on the open E. But there's too much latency with it. And I'm going to move over now to the unit itself, where I can see our control screen, and we can do most of the things that we can do on the computer on the unit itself, and we can learn how to assign different things. So as you can see, it's got a tuner built in, it's got a looper built in, and it's got a drum mode built in that sounds like this. That's enough of that. Pretty cool drum sounds if you want to jam along to yourself. What I'm going to do now is show you the two different modes. So a little bit like the HX Stomp, we have got Stomp mode and preset mode. So Stomp mode is where you have it all in one channel and you can turn pedals on and off. And preset mode is where you can have, you know, each one banks up and down with whole different presets and whole different setups that you've got here. For bass players, I don't know, unless you're changing and banking between different songs and you need loads, maybe. But for bass players, mainly, you're going to want Stomp mode, which is what it's in now. Here we can set our volume, set our metronome if we need to, and have a look at our signal chain here as well. And I find this is the best way to view your signal chain on the unit itself. We can also press down these to change Stomp mode or change what these do completely. And I'm going to show you what to do now. So if we go on the amp itself, we can turn it on and off on here and use the touch screen to move across and change some of the parameters that are on here as well. So we do have quite a bit of control at our fingertips. Now, instead of tapping into them and turning the drive on, for instance, I want to be able to assign each of these to this. So in order to set these up, we need to press this control button over here. Click this in and go through each control. So I would like the first control to be the drive. So I'm going to turn that one to turn it on, and then now it means that this will operate that control. And we can make one stomp turn on multiple things as well. If we wanted to turn on the compressor at the same time with that one, we can do that. And what we can also do here is decide how they work. You can see that I can control what happens when I tap it and what happens when I hold it. So what I've done is changed it so that instead of holding these two to put the tuner on, I've changed it so that every single control, A, B, C, and D, when you hold them, the tuner comes on. Because I've been there in live shows before when you've gone, like it's not accurate. I want to be able to hit them, to activate them, and hold them for a tuner. So that's exactly what I've done here. It's unlimited, the things that you can do here. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm just going to press save on this. Yes, save. So there we go. That is my overall kind of demo review of the Sonicake Matribox Pro 2. And yeah, it's kind of mixed feelings really, because overall, value-wise, you're getting so much for £300 compared to like £600-700 with HX Stomp. You're getting so much stuff all in one, and so it's great value for money. For bass players, I think it's good, but it's not amazing. Like, there's only a handful of amps there really, and some weird ones in there that you wouldn't normally expect, which is kind of a nice change. But at the same time, there are some really common ones that have been missed out there, which is a shame. But overall, it sounds passable. It's not as good sounding as the Line 6 Helix stuff. It's not. You've got loads of effects at your fingertips, but it's somewhat limited. The drives, I think, are very hit and miss, and that octave pedal was on another planet. So bad. But lots of the modulations and the compression and the noise gate, you know, all of that was really, really good stuff. So you can get some good tones out of it, but it just kind of depends what you're looking for, really. I'd like to finish off by apologizing slightly for the jankiness of this video. This is actually my third attempt of putting it together. I've just had so many issues along the way, but we got there in the end. So thank you for bearing with me, and thank you for sticking around, because this has been a long video and I've been away for a little bit of time since I've been away on holiday and come back now. So we're ready to hit the ground running and review some incredible basses that we've got coming up. So make sure you go and subscribe and like this video, all of that jazz to help the channel out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.